Okay, so here's the final exam review for pages 7 and 8 for secondary math 2. So on number 1 on page 7, it says, if triangle FGH is congruent to triangle WAX, we're going to fill in these congruent statements. So it says side GH is congruent to what side? Just use your congruent statement, so GH is to AX. So don't make it any harder than it needs to be. And then same thing with angle W. Well, angle W sits in the same spot as angle F, so my answer is angle F. It's really that easy. So you can really use your congruent statements to fill these out pretty quickly. So it says angle T is to angle, well, K sits in the same spot, so it's got to be angle K. And then same with THPA. So I'm going to go in that order. So TH, so TH would be KE. So KE. And then PA, so PA is to BI. So with this one, we're stating why these statements are true. So we know they're true, but why? So it says the measure of angle ADB is 90 degrees. So ADB, that's this. Well, let's think about it. If this is 90 degrees, this must be 90 degrees. Because those two angles make up a straight line, and straight lines add up to be 180. So by straight line angles, that must be 90 degrees. Because straight lines add up to be 180, so 180 minus this 90 would definitely make this 90. All right, so it says side BD is equal to side BD. Well, that's true. If this angle's across from that side and this angle's across from that side, then, and the angles are the same, then the sides must be the same. So you can say across from the same angles. Yeah, that's what I would take as an answer. So they're both across from same angles, so they must be the same. If those angles are equal, then their sides are equal. All right, so we have triangle ADB is congruent to triangle CDB, but why? Well, look at the information that you're given in what order. We're given an angle, and then a side is in common. An angle, then an angle, then a side. So it's going to be angle, angle, side. So by angle, angle, side, we know those triangles are surely congruent. Then what's the side between angle B and angle C? So here's our angle B, here's angle C. The side between is side BC, so side BC. All right, so on number 7, it says state the postulate or theorem you can use to prove each pair of triangles are congruent. If the triangles cannot be proven congruent, they're not enough information. So with this one, we're given the hypotenuse, and then we're given the hypotenuse. So we're only given one thing, so there's really nothing we can use to prove here. There's really not enough information. So not enough info. Now, this would have been a different story if this wouldn't have been our tick mark. If instead our tick mark would have been over here, then we would know by HL that these are congruent because we have a hypotenuse in common from the 90 degrees and one other leg in common. But because the hypotenuse was the other leg given, we cannot say by HL they're congruent. So with this one, there's not enough info. All right, so looking at number 8, the first thing I drew is, well, I know if this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, and then for sure that side's the same as that side. So by, once again, angle, angle, side, these triangles must be congruent. So angle, angle, side. Okay, so let's finish these congruent statements on page number 8. They're really as easy as the other ones. So triangle HJK is similar to triangle RST. So angle K better be to angle T. And then JK, so JK over ST, which makes sense, those are the corresponding sides, is equal to what over RT? So RT. Well, RT is the same as HK, so it's got to be HK. Just use your congruent statement and finish it off. Okay, with these we're asked to solve for Z. So notice we have just a fraction on the left, just a fraction on the right, so I'm going to cross multiply. So I multiply both sides by 75, but it divides out over here. Multiply both sides by 15, divides out over here. So I have 75Z is equal to, so it's equal to 675. And then to solve for Z, our last step, divide both sides by 75. So we get Z is equal to 9. And then the same thing here, we'll cross multiply. We do have to be a little bit more careful. 5's in bottom, so I'm multiplying both sides by 5. It divides out over here. And multiply both sides by 8. Divides out over here. 5 times 5 is 25. and then it's equal to, right here's where most people make mistakes. It's 8 times that entire side. So you got to put it in parentheses. So it's going to be 8x plus 16. We've got to distribute the 8 through to the whole side. So 8 plus 16, 8x plus 16. Subtract 16 from both sides. So we have 9 is equal to 8x. And then to get x alone, our last step, divide both sides by 8. So 9/8 is equal to x. Okay, in these we're supposed to state if the triangles are congruent, and if they are, or if they're similar, and if they are, we come up with a similarity statement. So we're going to first check the ratios of corresponding sides. So first of all, 30 is the largest side on this triangle. The largest side on this one is 15. So those are corresponding sides. 30 over 15 is equal to, the next largest side is 20. So 20, the next largest side is 10. So 20 over 10, sorry. So it's equal to 20 over 10 is equal to 12 is the smallest side here, 6 is the largest side here. So 12 over 6. So we have 2 is equal to 2 is equal to 2. The ratios match up, so by side, yes, these are similar. So now we have to write a similarity statement. So I'm going to say triangle, and I'm going to go UTV. So UTV is similar to, U was between the largest side and the medium side. So between the largest side and the medium side on this one would be S. So triangle S. And then what came next was T. So T is between the smallest side and the medium side. So between the smallest side and medium side is R. So SR, and it must be Q. So that's part of my answer, and then by side. You got to answer both. On number 7, we have these 2 right triangles, but we don't know anything else about them. So we can't use anything else to say that they are similar. So not enough info. Now, once again, if those sides, if we would have been given another side, we could have said by HL, but we weren't, and so we weren't given enough information. In this next one, we have these 2 similar triangles. Hopefully, you can remember we have this triangle, which is similar to the large triangle here. So, first of all, we have a set of ratios of corresponding sides. So we have 4 over, and then that full side is 7. So we have to do 4 over 7 is equal to, it better be 4 over 7. So we know that's true. So, yeah, that is true. But also, we know that this angle is equal to this angle. So look at the order of information we're given. A side, then an angle, then a side. So yes, they are similar by side, angle, side. So we checked the ratios, they were right, but it's by side, angle, side that they were similar. So then from there, we'll set up a congruent statement. So triangle, I'm going to do the small one first. So LMK. LMK is similar to triangle. L was this angle, so we know that J corresponds. So J, and then M, I went to M, so it must be H. And so JHK. So this is my answer as well as this. Same with, that was my answer. This is my answer. So you have to have both things correctly to get it fully correct here. We're asked to find the geometric mean on this, so we set up our little thing as 4 over question mark is equal to question mark over 25. So we cross multiply, so I multiply up and I multiply up. So I'm going to have 100 equal to question mark squared. Then I square root both sides, so 10 is equal to question mark. That's our geometric mean. So we have 9 over question marks equal to question mark over 12. We cross multiply. We always multiply up. So we're going to have 108 is equal to question mark squared. And then to solve for question mark, we square root both sides and we get a decimal. So we have to break it down by hand. So I did, let's see here, 108. That's 2 times 54. 54 breaks down into 9 times 3, and 9 breaks down into 3 times 3. Then we're pulling out roots of 2. So Oh, crap. Messed that one up. 9 times 3 is not 54, so I got to break this down again. So we have 2 times 54. Sorry about that. So we have 2 and 54. 54 broke down into 2 and 27. There we go. And then 27 broke down into 9 times 3. 9 broke down into 3 times 3. And because of the square root, we pull out groups of 2. So there's 2 3's that can come out, 2 2's that can come out. That 3's got to stay. So on the outside, we have 2 times 3, which is 6 square roots of 3. So our geometric mean is 6 square roots of 3. So on number 11, same thing. We have 2 over question mark is equal to question mark over 8. We cross multiply. We get 16 is equal to question mark squared. Then we square root both sides. So we have question marks equal to 4. And we've got that down. Okay, with this one, we have these right triangles, probably one of the harder ones. I like to redraw my triangles. So I have a small triangle, a small right triangle, a medium right triangle, and a large right triangle. And then I fill it in. So I'm going to just focus right now on my small right triangle and fill it in correctly. So we have side C, this altitude, side C. This altitude here is our long leg of our short one. So I'm going to put my long legs on the bottom here. Just remember that. So
Joseph, Dearden, please come to the office. Joseph, Dearden, please come to the office.
And then across our 90 degrees is side A, so this must be side B. And now I'm going to go ahead and focus on my medium triangle. So this one is our medium triangle here. So we know our altitude being dropped. This C is our short leg on our medium triangle. So short legs went up here. So this is side C. So then side E is our 90 degree, and so side D must be our long leg. And then on our huge triangle, make sure you focus your attention on our huge triangle here. That would be the huge thing. So ignore all that stuff in between. Our longer leg, so our hypotenuse is obviously F, right? And our long leg is E, our long legs go on bottom, and then A went up here. So now it's pretty easy to fill it in. So it says B over C, so B over C is equal to what over D? Well, it looks like it must be C, right? C must be to D. So C is to D. So C is to D. Very good. And then we have B over A, so I'm going to highlight again. So we have B over A is equal to blank over A. Well, B over A is equal to blank over A. It's got to be F over A. Or A over F, sorry, A over F. So those sit in the same spot. They're corresponding sides of corresponding sets. So that was the end of that video for you. Thank you for watching. That is pages 7 and 8.